Hi, I'm Inspire. I am Emilie Mauran, the director of EMR Architecture. This is one of our latest projects in Fulham. Let me show you around. Here we are in a typical Victorian home from the Peterborough Estate in Fulham. This is what's called a lion house. They are called this way because you've got big lions outside the property on the facade. So we were bought in by a local developer doing lots of Fulham properties for Fulham families. So this is a property with 6 bedrooms, big entertainment space in the basement, a really big kitchen. The living room in the entrance is very open. So we'll show you around. So the typical Victorian property has got quite a long front living room on a wall separating the entrance. We decided that we wanted to kind of break this very enclosed feeling and added a Crittall panel to the entrance where you would normally have the second part of the front living room. People never really know what to do with that space. It's a bit dead. So instead of leaving it as a dead space, we decided to use it to create some coat storage and also a cloakroom. So it's not completely furnished, the curtains are missing, but one very nice detail about this property is the work that we've done with the cornicing. So we've actually created a little pelmet, so the cornice can run in front of that pelmet and the curtains will sit behind it. In here, the fireplace has got bioethanol baskets. So I don't know how familiar you are with bioethanol, but traditionally people tended to have gas fireplace and it doesn't really feel so safe anymore, especially when you are around children. When you have bioethanol, it is actually a gel and it's eco-friendly. It gives you really great heat. In here, we've got it looking like a very traditional fireplace. And the good thing about it is that it allowed us to take the chimney breast out on the first floor and second floor, and that gave us more space for storage and better layout. So this is the space I was telling you about that is normally not really used to your front living room. So we created a really good size storage. One side is for shoes, one side is for coats, and at the end you've got a really lovely cloakroom. So here you've got a pocket door. The idea is that you can close it because it's very convenient acoustically, but also for the smell of kitchen. In here we have a very large freezer and fridge. It's very important to design a kitchen in a very practical way. That's something we are quite passionate about. I will always make sure that you have the triangle, so your sink, your hob, and your fridge. They are the 3 things you need really easy access to. In here, the ovens are a bit further away, but you don't tend to be in and out of your oven all the time. So if you have to actually compromise one thing in terms of proximity, it would be the ovens. The reason why I really like having double sink is because you can use one to wash your dishes and one to dry them. So your worktop is going to be completely free of clutter. In the kitchen island, we made this really practical with some storage for the cluttery on either side of the hob. In here you have a pantry with a socket, so that's where people are very happy to put a microwave away. In here you can put your spice or your teas and all sorts of storage of food. What's important is to be able to have adjustable shelves, so that will fit your needs. It's very difficult to know when you first design your kitchen how much space you need in between shelves, so making them adjustable is a very easy tip. You've got your ovens. One is microwave and then the other one is like a formal oven. The shelves is something I really enjoy because I find that top-level joinery can be sometimes heavy, and when you have a kitchen that is also your main living space, it's important to make it feel more like a living room sometimes than just a kitchen. So if you can avoid the high-level cupboard, it's good. If you don't have the space for that, I would advise putting some glass onto the unit so there is a bit more depth to it. So the planning regulation is that you can extend your house at the rear up to 3.5 meters as long as you keep 50% of your garden. So this is what we did here. We extended 3.5 meters. We also extended on the side. Whenever we do extension, we try to add some roof light because it's a fabulous way to add extra light. Being French, light is very important, and that's something where I suffer a little bit in England during winter. So I will always focus on bringing as much roof light or sliding doors as possible. It's very important. So we've seen the kitchen side, very practical with the kitchen island. You can imagine the kids having breakfast, or when you entertain friends, you can have a little drink around there. The way to actually break up between the kitchen space and the relaxed space is to have the dining area as the center element. Having the dining table perpendicular to the island gives a sensation of width that is quite important. All these houses are very linear, front to back, and if you break it with a perpendicular dining table, it's something that will be very beneficial visually in terms of your sensation of space and also circulation around. So the bifold doors used to be extremely popular, and now we are coming back to sliding doors. Also, to be honest, how many days can you really enjoy a fully open door in London? So what's important is the minimalistic frame more than the possibility to open it in full. In here you can see a walk-on glass. This is because we've got the basement below, and what we are trying to do is bring as much natural light as we can to the basement. The reason why we've got this open on the side with the balustrade is because we also want to bring natural ventilation to the basement, which is very important so you don't feel like you are in a cellar down there. But I will explain that when we get down. The garden itself, it's a small terrace garden, they never get too big in London, but having some fake grass brights it up during winter, it's always gonna look nice. And we also planted some olive trees because they are evergreen. So whatever the weather is going to be like, they will always have their leaves, and the view is going to look pretty from the kitchen during winter and summer. So this is the ground floor done, and let's go to the basement now. So this is the basement bedroom. It's always very tricky to get some good natural light in a basement bedroom. So what we did here is designed a really big French door leading to a little light well. You could imagine having table and chairs if it's like a nanny room, for example, and she wants to have her own outdoor space. You also have accessible from the light well, the plant room that is behind that wall here. We have an ensuite that is very practical, shower, sink and toilet. So people will use it either as a guest bedroom or as a nanny bedroom. We did some nice storage, but we wanted it to look a bit more like a freestanding furniture. So you've got low-level chest of drawer here where we have the mirror, but it could be a TV as well, like all the cables are ready for that behind the mirror. So it's important in the basement to have quite a wide corridor. You don't want it to feel like a cellar. In here we've got a guest loo, lots of storage under the stairs. You know how storage is important to me. And here we've got a really, really big utility room. It's funny because it's the only room in the house with no natural light, leading to the family room where you can have a media corner. We've done once again the pocket door system. So if kids are playing too loud or watching TV and you want to have a quiet time upstairs, you can close that door. So this is a little play corner. We have space for a very big sofa, and we did a little media unit, imagining there will be TV on the wall as opposed to this art. Once again, we decided to go with very wide sliding doors. What is really nice about it is that when you are standing here, you can actually see the garden. Walk-on glass is a really good solution to bring natural light into your basement at the rear. Some people decide to make it out of concrete and tile because they are worried about the sleepiness of the glass outside the doors, but the amount of natural light you get in the basement by doing that, I think, is more beneficial, and you can always find solutions as anti-slip strips onto your glass or solutions like this. So this basement was actually completely dug. It was not here before. This was your typical Victorian home. When you dig a basement like this one with 2.8 meter ceiling height, you actually need to dig about like 4 meters for your foundation. It's a lot of work, but as long as you've got good builders and good architects, it's a fabulous way to create extra space. It's very often much cheaper to actually dig a basement and stay in your own home as opposed to move away from your current home to get some extra space. So don't move, improve. So we're done with the basement. Let's go to the upper floors now. So this is the first floor. Traditionally, in a Victorian home, first floor, you would have 2 bedrooms at the front, 1 bathroom here, and then another bedroom at the back. What we did here is transforming the front 2 bedroom into a master bedroom with ensuite. Here we did a family bathroom, and here we did a guest bedroom. You remember when I was telling you about all the storage? This is one of the great storage you can do on the landing. It's the perfect place for linen, for example. In this bedroom, traditionally people would have fake ceiling, so they would have storage accessible from the room above. But in here, instead of having heave storage, we decided to actually follow the slope of the roof, create a Velux, so you can maximize the feel of space in this room. On this floor, we've got wooden floor throughout. It is the same wooden floor as the one we have in the ground floor and basement. You will see as we move to the second floor that we decided to put carpet as opposed to wood floor. This is essentially because kids can be extremely noisy and it's their floor up there. So this is a little shower room. What we did here in order to give a sense of space is creating that boxing. You need a boxing for the cistern of your loo, but as opposed to create some integrated joinery above the sink that can be quite expensive, this is a really good tip for you. So we have a very large mirror that was done bespoke on a little LED strip at the top. So that creates your lights to do your perfect makeup. Inside the shower, we would always do a niche, and we tend to have a fixed shower head on a hand shower. It's very important to put the mixers when you enter the shower, so you can turn the hot water on before you get into the shower, because we've all been to these places where you would find the mixer right under the shower, and you will get like a really cold shower before it gets warm. You don't want that. So this is the perfect master bedroom. We've allowed space for a super king bed, and it is set away on the left-hand side of the room, so you've got really good circulation. So traditionally, you would have had your door on that side, but we decided to move it to this side. We created a little ensuite with a shower. We realized that sometimes, people don't really care about having a bath. It seems more important for the children. So we did a really big shower in here with some very soft tone of a bronzy color that has got a little bit of pink in it. One interesting thing to do about windows is to treat them differently than the standard obscured glass that is required by planning. What we like to do is fluted glass. It's a bit more luxurious, and also I think it gives a much nicer light into the bathroom. So you remember in the previous bathroom, we decided to have a boxing stopping at about 1.2 from the finished floor level. In this occasion, the boxing is going all the way to the ceiling, and we took the opportunity of the space to create some nice niche above the loo. And in here we recessed a mirror unit. So it's completely flush with the wall, but as you can see, you can open it up So it's a very nice detail. It's framed. You've got your lights around that you can turn on off very easily. In here we have a pocket door again. I find it very practical for the bathroom, so the door is not in your way. Also, right outside the bathroom, we've got a little corner where you can do your hair and your makeup. We've got a little light for it. And beautiful storage. Everybody wants a lot of storage, so each of these cupboards has been designed with the right amount of shelves, drawers, hanging space. And you can see at the top here, we've got air conditioning. Very often people struggle to have nice looking grills for air conditioning. A good tip is to actually use radiator cover. This is what we did here, that we sprayed the same color as the joinery. Okay, so let's go to the kids' floor now. As we go up, I wanted to mention the handrails here. We match the handrail with the oak floor in terms of the tone. And in here, as opposed to have these big newel posts, we decided to go with a mop finish that is much better for the flow as you come up and down the stairs. In here, we've got one kids' bedroom. We actually designed this room thinking that it could be flexible, either for a child or for an office. We've got air conditioning again, and we've used that grill system that I mentioned in the master bedroom. So let's go to the loft. I want to bring attention to this roof light. Very often staircase can be really dark, and having a roof light is a fantastic way to bring the light all the way down. Once again, we've got storage here on the landing. The idea for this storage is not so much to have it for linen, but as extra storage to this bedroom, because we imagine teenagers there, and there is never enough storage for teenagers. In this bedroom, because this is the front of the house, we had to deal with Velux. It's conservation area, so you are very limited on what you can do for the windows. In order to not block too much of the light, we decided to go with very low-level joinery here, so you can still benefit from a little extra Velux. So this bathroom is meant to serve the 2-bedroom that we have on that floor. It's very important for the kids to be able to have a bath, but we made sure that this bath was the type of bath where you can have a shower. Another tip, when you have to tile something that is quite slopey, like we have here, it's very good to go with mosaic. The bigger the tile, the more difficult it's going to get, and it's not going to be really nice for the joint. Home Inspire for following us around this fabulous home in Fulham. I hope to see you soon, and in the meantime, if you want to find out more about this project, you can follow us on EMR Architecture. Bye!